Hey guys, Christian the Haver Card Man coming back at you with another deck profile today, another live one at that. I love doing these. And today we're going to be taking a look at my hero profile, and I'm going to be showing you guys today how little you need your Adusted Gold and Malicious Bane. So before we get into this profile today, be sure to click that like and subscribe button down below so you can stay updated on future content like this and so you can see more content like this in the future. And while you're at it, you might as well go check out all of the links down in the description as well to all of the other channels I'm a part of, Team Chaos Stream and the Coalition of Scrubs. The links to all the other members of the Coalition of Scrubs will also be down there as well for you guys to go check out. They're all awesome people, all awesome creators making you guys some beautiful Yu-Gi-Oh content. And if you don't know what the Coalition of Scrubs is yet, it's another Yu-Gi-Oh channel that I'm a part of where me and currently five other Yu-Gi tubers get together and make you guys some awesome Yu-Gi-Oh content, so definitely be sure to go check all that out. Now, with all the advertising out of the way, let's go ahead and get into today's hero deck profile. So starting off with the main deck, we are running, obviously, 3 copies of your boy Stratos. This is your main searcher for the deck. Just normal or special summon him, you can search a hero. Not a soft once per turn, a hard once per turn, not a once per turn at all, just if he's normally special summoned. You can search for a hero, or you can use the second effect to destroy a spell and traps your opponent controls, up to the number of hero monsters you control other than Stratos. So, I mean, that ability sometimes comes in handy, but it's not always there. Next up is actually kind of an interesting tech I have for this deck that works really well in combination with Stratos. If you can open up both of these guys in your opening hand, it's pretty much full combo, with an extended combo actually that allows you to do extra stuff. So I'll probably show that in a combo tutorial, either in a separate video or at the end of this one. We'll see how time runs. So this tech is currently 2 copies of Geza Macchiata, the Gleaming Vanguard. I plan on upping this to 3. I'm just waiting for my 3rd copy to show up, so I'll figure out what to take out for that later. But the nice thing about this guy is that if you don't know what he does, and actually I did a tech discussion on this. Actually, I had two different spots. I had a card discussion live stream last Friday as of recording this, which is currently May 25th. But last Friday I did a stream, and then the week before that I did a Coalition Market Watch, a Spicy Tech Market Watch with this guy. He's like 33 cents a piece. But him, you contribute a normal summoned monster you control to special summon him from your hand. And during the turn that he is normal or special summoned, you basically get an additional normal summon for free. So Stratos has a really interesting combo with Geza Macchiata. The one thing about Geza Macchiata that you got to keep in mind though is that you can only summon monsters for the rest of the turn that are the same original type as the monster you tributed. So if you tribute the Stratos, you can only summon warrior monsters for the rest of the turn. So you got to keep that in mind. That does lock out a couple of plays, but for the most part this deck is oriented around being able to use this combo. So like once again, I do want to add a 3rd one in here. So far it's been fairly consistent on drawing these guys, so it's not even too big of a deal, but I want to add in the 3rd just to make sure that it stays consistent. So continuing on, we are running 2 copies of Shadow Mist, just a must-have for any hero deck. You can use it as another hero searcher, which 9 times out of 10 is what I'm using it for, or if you can find a way to special summon it, you can search for the Mass Change, which really doesn't happen all that often for me. Most, like 9 times out of 10, it's to search for the hero, because I usually end on boards with stuff like Sunrise or Absolute Zero and Plasma. So it's interesting. I love Shadow Mist for the searching, not so much for the Mass Change, but more so for the heroes. So moving on, we're running 2 Malicious, just a must-have for any hero deck, or really any deck that can send 1 Mally to the graveyard and get you a free extender. So, I mean, he's limited to 2 right now. If he ever comes back to 3, obviously we're putting Malicious back to 3 because he's just insane. So now we're on to the one-of heroes. So we have our Vision Hero package, 1 Ferris, 1 Increase. I know a lot of people love to run 3 Ferris and 2 Increase, but honestly, it's unnecessary. You get the Stratos, you can search for the Ferris, you can use your Ferris to dump another hero and search for the Increase. It's like not rocket science. You really only need 1 of each, and it's easy enough to get off the combo. Like, why waste your money? Like, it's an extra $13 for each copy of Ferris, and I think like 10 or 12 for Increase. So I figured might as well just save the money, run one-ofs. You have searchers for them. There's plenty of ways in this deck to be able to pull them out and to be able to use them. So not even really concerned about that. I am still running 2 Vion though, just because he can use himself to just normal summon and get a dump to graveyard. You can dump a Shadow Mist if you want to search, or dump a Malicious if you want extender. So, I mean, Vion can be a play starter on his own. He's more of a roundabout play starter, but he can still do things on his own. So, it makes more sense to have him at 2, especially since he's actually a fairly budget card. So, Next up here, we're actually running one Avion and one Bubble Man, and you'll see why later once we get to the extra deck. I love having these guys, though, because with one other card in this deck, it's like +1 effect that gets me into pretty much the board I want to end on every time. So this just makes it like a more guaranteed play here. Then we're also running one Liquid Soldier. I know this makes the deck kind of like not so budget anymore, and it's not really like a budget build, but at least you're not spending $200 for the Duster Gold and the Malicious Bane. So we're also running one Plasma, which this guy is dirt cheap, and I love it. He is just insane. I pull him out pretty much every game just because he's so ridiculous, and I love having him. This is kind of actually a going first hero build, but it also goes second. Like, this deck really doesn't care on whether it goes first or second, so Plasma really helps with either or. And then we're also running one Honest Neos. Every hero build, every self-respecting hero build needs to run an Honest Neos because it's an Honest for the archetype, but gives you 2,500 attack, so it's a guaranteed attack boost. And there's a good potential that several times it could end up doing more damage than just a normal Honest, and it's more guaranteed since everything is heroes. So that's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and move on to the spells. We're not running any traps. So let's go ahead and get in here. So first off, we are running 3 Called by the Grave, just because we really want to make sure that our plays go off. We don't want to get hit by the Ash Blossom, the Effect Veiler, or even the Ghost Ogre. We want to be able to go off their plays like normal and not have to worry about a thing. And even if we don't use them for hand traps, we have them for disruption against our opponent. I will say this every time I make a deck profile. Called by the Grave is an essential must run in every deck, because even if you don't use it against hand traps, you can still use it to disrupt your opponent because of how many graveyard plays there are, or how many decks pull out multiples of cards, and you can just negate whatever you want to, or even just disrupt plays in general. It's kind of like a DD Crow, but honestly a little bit better, except not, because you also can't use it if you're going second against your opponent going first. But either way, it's like a must run for so many decks. So we're also running 3 Dark Ruler just because we are in the Animancipator Eldritch format. And while yes, heroes do want to OTK, they also want to make sure that their plays can go off. Because if I can't OTK going second, if I pull a Dark Ruler, I can at least know that I can break my opponent's board and have a potential to set up to OTK the next turn. So running Dark Ruler no more is just a must. So now we're on to the actual kind of hero spell cards here, more hero oriented. Running 3 Emergency Call for our searchers. Searches out an elemental hero from your deck. This basically is just an extra 3 copies of Stratos, because that's usually what we're going to be pulling out of the deck. This just gives us the extra means to see Stratos in our opening hand. If we need to, we can also use it to search Liquid Soldier, Honest Neo, Shadow Mist, whatever elemental hero we need to search. This is a bonus search, so I mean, it really thins down the deck and makes things a lot more consistent. And like I mentioned before, since I'm not really using Shadow Mist much to search Mass Change, I do still want to see it, so I'm running 3 copies of it, just because that makes it a lot easier to see in my opening hand. Since my other fusion spells are like super searchable throughout my combos, but Mass Change I usually don't get to see. So I like running it at 3 just to make that more consistent. Next up, we're running 2 Polymerization, just because it is searchable. And I really like running 2 because I do a lot of fusion summoning with this deck. I will summon like at least 4 to 5 fusions at a turn, so I really like having the double Polymerization. I was running it at 3, but I had to cut one down for the 3rd Mass Change when it showed up, so if I ever find the opportunity to, I might throw Polymerization back at 3. Next up, we're running 2 Miracle Fusion. I know you guys are probably gonna think I'm crazy for this. I love Miracle Fusion though, just for the simple fact that it has a lot of synergies with Sunriser. And if you end up drawing one plus using your Sunriser to pull out the second one, that's just 2 free summons from the graveyard. And it's so easy to set up the graveyard to go in those fusions. So I like the bonus plays with these guys. Just really, really handy all around. And then we also have 2 copies of Super Poly. I would run 3, except I have Part of Plan Verte Anaconda in this deck, so as long as I don't go into the Gizmo Macchiata play, I can pull out my Verte Anaconda and be just fine. Well, I guess unless I do like Cross Crusade or something, but if I really need to like super poly something, if there's a really problematic card on the field, I'll just go for that Verte Anaconda right away, and I won't even like worry about a hero combo. I'll just get the super poly off. So now for the one-ofs, we have our Rhoda. Gotta have a Rhoda. Adds 1 level 4 lower warrior monster. This includes your Vision Heroes, or at least your Vision Hero Vion, and just that kind of stuff. So that's pretty good. We're also running 1 Hero Lives because it's another copy of Stratos in the deck. So this is another 2 copies basically right here of Stratos. So you have basically 8 total copies of Stratos in the deck, and as long as you see Stratos, you pretty much have combo. So that's all that matters. We're also running 1 Parallel World Fusion just because I do banish a lot. whether it be off of Miracle Fusion, which I do a lot of, Malicious, there's several other cards in here that banish, so I love having the Parallel World Fusion, be able to cycle back to the deck and pull out something like an Elemental Hero the Shining, or even an Absolute Zero, depending on what I banished. So I do like having that. It is a pretty nice extender, but only a one of. That's all it's really worth playing at. So we also have one Instant Fusion, because we do have a target, well, technically a couple targets for this deck, but there's one like main one that we actually use because it is a hero name, so we can use it for link plays and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead, and that's the end of the spells. We'll go ahead and move on to the extra deck so you can see why a lot of these techs work the way that they do. So starting off with the link monsters in the extra deck, we are running the Extra Hero Cross Crusader, Extra Hero Infernal Devicer, and Wonder Driver for our Extra Hero package. I'm not playing a Dread Decimator, just because the link plays aren't the most devastating part of this deck. It just helps facilitate the combos. So obviously Cross Crusader we use to search for whatever we need in our hand, or if we're looking for an extender. Most of the times, depending on where I am in the combo, I'm using this guy to search for a Plasma. If I already have that, or if I need to search something else first to keep my combos going, I'll search for that instead. But basically, as long as you've got the Malicious in Graveyard, you can use this guy to get a free search. So, super good there. Extra Hero Infernal Devicer, the new support out of Dual Overload, is actually a +1 effect, and he is beautiful. Because when he's linked someone, you can reveal one fusion monster from your extra deck and add fusion materials from your deck to your hand that are specifically listed on that monster. And this is the combo I came up with that uses Bubble Man and Avion, but we'll get to that when we get to the fusions. And like I mentioned, I'm also running one per Plant Verde Anaconda, so it searches out any fusion I need to. And I guess Wonder Driver, pretty self-explanatory, just resets your mass change, polymerization, or whatever fusion spell you want. Usually a polymerization or miracle fusion in my case, but occasionally it's a mass change. It just really depends on the situation. So that's it for the links. Go on to the fusions here. So we are running 2 copies of our Elemental Hero Sunriser, because I really like having 2 of them. If I end up going past turn 1 or turn 2, whichever I'm doing, if I'm going first or second, I can have a second one to back up my plays next turn, or there's a good chance I can end up pulling out both on the same turn and have their attack boosts both boost each other, so it's like double attack boost. And usually I'll end up giving every one of my monsters like a 1200 attack point boost, which is actually fairly substantial considering that most of their base attacks are around 2500 or so, so then you're getting like 3700 attack point bodies that are just ridiculous. And then of course they have their effect that whenever another hero monster goes into a battle, you can pop a card. So really good there, just to get the extra disruption. We're also running 2 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, because this guy works really well with the Miracle Fusion combo, and once again, I'll kind of discuss more about that here in a second. But just when he leaves the field for any reason, whether he goes back to the extra deck, graveyard, or banished, or whatever, he destroys all monsters in your opponent's field. So I love running him at 2 of, because it's so easy. If I need to, I can choose one to go into the other and blow up my opponent's field, or just being able to like recycle them. Super good. Super Poly works really good if your opponent plays a Needle Fiber. You can just hit that Super Poly right as they play it. As long as you have a hero monster on your field, you can go into an Absolute Zero. So not only have you stopped their Needle Fiber, you now also have a potential board wipe on your field. So super good there. We're also playing the one of Elemental Hero the Shining, because it is actually pretty easy to go on this guy, especially with Miracle Fusion. There's only I think the only light monster in the main deck, if I remember right, is Honest Neos, but you can also use your Sunriser if you really need to, depending on what happens to him, so that's fine. So this next card is actually what makes the Infernal Devicer combo work really well, and it's the Elemental Hero Mariner, and this is the reason that I play Elemental Hero Avion and Bubble Man in my deck, because I can use Infernal Devicer to target my Mariner, which will allow me to add a Bubble Man and an Avion in to my hand. And by that point in time, I'm almost guaranteed to have a fusion spell in my hand, because I'll have already used like a Stratos to go into my Vision Hero play so that I can get my Vion out. And then I would link into the Infernal Devicer, be able to search out the 2 monsters, fuse them together, use them for a Sunriser, pull out a Miracle Fusion, and then go into the Absolute Zero. So pretty much I've made it to where I've practically guaranteed myself the Absolute Zero Sunriser combo, and then I can just further extend from there depending on what else I have available. And it's actually really easy to do. But the reason I also chose Mariner for this, and not like some other one like Mudball Man or anything like that can still add the water monster to my hand for the Absolute Zero, is because he's a level 5 monster, so you can still use Instant Fusion with him, and since he's a hero monster, you can use him for hero plays. He's still a warrior, so you can use him for those links. So overall, it's just like, it's the extra synergy of it, him being a level 5 that makes him useful. So continuing on, we're running one Dark Law. I had 2 copies of them, but I don't know where my second one yet went, so I'll probably end up ordering another one. For right now, I'm only playing the one, though, and honestly, it works just fine because I don't really go into them all that often. It's more about the Sunriser Absolute Zero combo, so... we're also running a Destiny Hero Dangerous to kind of help unbreak our hand, because if we end up drawing like a Shadow Mist and a Malicious plus a Fusion spell in our hand, then we can get rid of both those to the graveyard, get our Search, pull out a Stratos, use that to search for more stuff, and then we have an extra Hero Body in field, a Malicious in graveyard, and then we can go off into further plays. So really, really handy there. Obviously, to help facilitate OTKs, we have the Vision Hero Trinity, a must-have in any hero deck, because you can just use 3 hero monsters, pull them out, and you have a 5,000 attack beater that can hit 3 times against any monsters. So, super handy there. And then super poly targets, we're running with Starving Venom and Mud Dragon, just because most of our hero monsters, our main deck hero monsters, have different attributes. So, if we can just match an attribute with our opponent, we can at least get the Mud Dragon, or if they end up pulling out a couple of Darks, we can go for the Starving Venom. So, just kind of a little bonus there. I love having them in here. So that's it for the deck profile today, guys. So we're sitting about 16 minutes right now. I'm probably just going to end up doing a separate video for a combo tutorial / test hands, just so you can see how this deck functions and why I play it the way I do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this today. Thank you again so much for tuning in. This was a lot of fun to do. Heroes are actually like my favorite archetype. They're pretty much tied with Prank Kids, but if I had to choose like an actual meta competitive deck, it would be Heroes. Like, they are my end all be all, like my favorite deck. I grew up on Heroes and I've loved everything about them. So once again, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below so you can stay updated on the channel and get more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I can't believe we're already over 100 subscribers. You have been killing it and blowing it out of the water, and I love each and every single one of you. So thank you guys so much for supporting me each and every single day. I love you guys. Remember to have fun, make your move. Peace out.
I'm a love giver.